If you get married today, you have less than a 1 in 5 chance of having a happy marriage. When you go into dating without clarifying your purpose, you're more likely going to get involved in a poor relationship.
Welcome back to the Fish and Coach Show. I'm Brandon Fisher. This is Coach Ratner. Clarify your purpose for dating. Coach, what is a purpose in dating?
Well, that's the reason why we're talking about clarify your purpose in dating. You know, I teach lots of relationship classes, and one of the first things I tell my students is, what is the divorce rate in America right now? And what the answer is usually going to be 50 to 60%. Now, out of the people that are not divorced, how many of them do you think are married? I'm sorry. How many of them do you think are happy?
All of them.
Well, they're all still married. But how many of them do you think are happy?
I think the number is probably scary.
It's pretty scary. So let's just say half. Let's be generous and say that half the people that haven't gotten divorced are happy. That means you have less. If you get married today, you have less than a 1 in 5 chance of having a happy marriage. That's not too good, is it?
No, that's
horrible.
Not good.
And that's one of the reasons why so few people are getting married, or they're getting married later and later. It used to be back, before I was born, people got married. If you're 25 and not married, it was considered late.
What are they looking for waiting longer? What changes?
Well, there's a number of reasons. First of all, they have a lot of distractions. And a lot of things now you can get, now you can get for free what you used to have to pay for.
I see what you're saying.
Right? So people, it's just easier, and accessibility to dating is so much more. It used to be like, how'd you date someone? Usually you got set up by a relative or something. Now there's accessibility through the internet and stuff like that. But when you go into dating without clarifying your purpose, you're more likely going to get involved in a poor relationship. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have a great marriage, because plenty of people do. This is a generalization. So, you're 20, 21, 22, and you're cute, whatever, you're really cute, and like, I'm going to start dating because, I don't know, I'm cute, and guys like me, or girls like me, whatever.
Or you're handsome, yeah.
You're handsome, whatever. And you start dating, and you don't know while you're dating. So but you want to be clear about it. If you're dating for the purpose because you want to hook up, or you want fun, or you want a physical relationship, you need to be clear about it. And if you're dating for the purpose of getting married, you need to be clear about it.
And do you need to be clear for yourself, or does the other person have to know what you're saying?
You need to be clear for yourself. You need to be clear for yourself. Because when you start dating without being clear, let's say you don't know why you're dating, and you start dating someone, and you get involved in a physical relationship, and they're nice, and they're cute, and they make you laugh, and then you're getting married, you might have had a different set of parameters for someone you wanted to marry than someone who was fun to date. Then you get married, and you wonder why 5 or 10 years later, even 20 years later, why you're such in either a divorce or in a happy marriage. Because when you were dating, you didn't clarify why you're dating. Now, if you're dating for marriage, if you're just like, what, I'm 22, I'm 25, 28, whatever it is, and I'm dating because I want to get married, now you have a different set of parameters. Now the guy that's the most good-looking or the funnest guy might not be the guy you want to marry. You might want to marry someone who's well-grounded. You might want to marry someone who's, comes from a good home, not from a dysfunctional home. You have a different set of parameters where like that fun, cute girl or guy that, smiled at you and made you laugh and giggle and was, good in other ways, that might not be so important.
Are you saying that they don't go together? You can't have both? Saying you have to lolook past these superficial things towards what really matters.
One of the things I say to my students that for every beautiful girl walking down the street and for every gorgeous hunk walking down the street, there's someone that's sick of them. That's the fact. It doesn't matter how good looking you are. The relationships are more than just physical. They're the whole pie. You gotta have the whole pie, which stands for, is one of my acronyms.
Let's hear it.
Physical, intellectual, and emotional.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, you got to have the whole pie. You want the whole pie. You got to be, which we're going to have a whole podcast on the 3 questions you have to ask while you're getting married for a different talk. But the idea is that you have to have a physical relationship. You have to be physically attracted to them. You have to have an emotional connection. Intellectually, like they have to stimulate your intellectual mind. And there must be some emotions. But decisions based on emotions never work out. And you know what causes emotions? Physical relationships.
They go together.
Who runs a guy's mind?
At least for a short amount of time. They don't go together.
And so what you think is love is really infatuation.
Wow. And how do you balance that? What do you look for in a relationship so you know that you're thinking from the mind or intellectually?
Well, what I look at is I look at maybe in the religious world, especially the religious Jewish world, where people are dating for the purpose that no one goes to 21. It's like, I'm gonna date for fun. That doesn't happen in the religious world or the observant world, whatever you want to call it. They date for the purpose of getting married. So before they even go on a date, usually the person gets vetted by their parents, which is really funny. Like, can you imagine? And like people say, "Oh, mom, what do you think about this guy I'm going to date?" It's really, we're going to get into like you should always have a coach.
You know, there's a dating app where the mom goes through the options for her son.
That actually makes a lot of sense because who knows the person the best? The parents. Although some people might be embarrassed by that. But if you want to have a great marriage, if you don't want to be one of these poor statistics, it's good to have a coach. And the person shouldn't be your yes man. They got to be someone who's honest with you.
You need the honesty.
So in the religious world, they date for the purpose of marriage. So they'll go on a date. If they don't think they want to marry them, they don't date them. No matter how good looking they are, no matter how funny they are, they think this person isn't marriage material. I'm not going to go out with them. They don't waste time. And this is why they get before they even date someone, they're vetted. They know they come from a good family. They have the same outlook on life.
Right.
They know where they want to live. They know how big a family they want. They know all these things. I think about it when you're dating.
How many of these answers does the average person have?
Can you imagine on a second date, how many children do you want? People think you're crazy.
On the first date, where do you want to live?
Where do you want to live?
What's your hashkafa? What do you want?
Or even like, do you want to get married? Could you imagine asking on the first date?
Right.
Just, do you want to be married? Not even do you want to get married. Not do you want to get married. Do you want to be married someday? I mean, that would scare people off. Listen, if I was in my 20s and some woman said to me on my first date, do you want to be married someday? I would not date her again.
Because
I was immature. Not because I was immature.
I'm here dating for marriage. That would scare a lot of people away on their first date. But that's clarifying the purpose at the beginning. It's taking all this mystery off the table.
Mystery out of the table. If you could say to someone, I'm dating because I'd like to get married someday, you might be the one. I have no idea. But that would be considered maybe an awkward situation. I don't know. But that's, at least at a minimum in your mind, you must clarify why you're dating.
Right.
And this is why when you're dating for fun, just know that if you end up getting married to this person, that you might have missed some clues, you might have missed some signs, because now you're infatuated because you're having a physical relationship, and you're confusing that with love.
And it's so important to clarify that and get that in common. I would say, you said in your own head, but I think it has to be something connected between the two people.
Oh, you do?
That purpose should be agreed upon. First of all, you should go into that first date knowing what you're looking for.
So you're saying that when you go on the first date, you should say, by the way, I'm dating because I would like to get married.
Why keep the mystery going? How long do you want to drag that other person on and be like, you know what, by the way, I was only dating for fun. And that other person had that goal of dating for marriage. You've got two
complete different thoughts.
How many elephants are in the room that you're leaving?
Right.
Get them out of there.
It's scary what you're saying.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I can't imagine going on a date by the way, I'm dating for the purpose I want to get married someday. And you might be the one, I don't know, but this is serious for me. I'm not in this for fun.
But it shows such a maturity level that you know what you're looking for. You know where you are.
You know why? Most people are mature.
Right.
Like if you're 40, if you're 45 years old and you're going on a date, let's say you're divorced and never married, you're going to date somebody, you're like, you know what, I'm dating because I really want to get married. That would be okay because you're 45 or 50 and you're mature. But for a 21, 22-year-old, it's like, by the way, I'm dating because I really want to get married. It just seems weird, I guess. I don't know.
Coach,
but you're right. You're probably right.
I made the mistake in the past of not clarifying, or relationships that last a long time.